What's going on, guys? JR Sports Cards coming at you with another video today. First off, I want to apologize for not posting this weekend. Been having some internet issues. I had a video ready to go, and then I was like, maybe it's just the video that's not working, but got all the issues figured out. I honestly think, I'm not sure if I'm going to be posting on weekends consistently. I think maybe I'll post maybe once a weekend, maybe a Saturday video, but not post Sunday. I haven't really decided. You guys will see. But anyways, I have some huge news for you guys. We have first a new store that's holding retail sports cards with proof. And then Target is going to be selling sports cards back in stores. I'm going to tell you pretty much, why I think this. I'm going to go through reports. I'm going to show you, I'm going to talk about why. I'm going to literally so much information I'm going to drop on you in this video. So guys, sit back, relax, grab a juice box because that's become the joke on the channel. And maybe some popcorn with the juice box. I don't know. Is that a good combo? Give me a good combo. Like, what goes with a juice box? Like goldfish, maybe? I don't know. Let me know. All right, guys. So, first off, I want to get into the new store that sells retail sports cards. It is actually going to be Ace Hardware. Yes, Ace Hardware. Interesting. It's a hardware store, but they sell sports cards. They've had Pokemon, which you actually see in the thumbnail. And then they've been seen to be carrying Chronicles football. Select football has been in your Ace Hardware. This is a and Series 2 has been in Ace Hardware. This is a very tough place to get sports cards in general. I called a few of mine in my area. They didn't have any, but there's definitely been some across the country that have been getting them in. I had one store that does sell them, but they only had Series 2 at the time. They sold out of Chronicles and Select. So Ace Hardware, guys, check your local Ace Hardware. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, no, JR, why would you give away this spot? But it's a really cool spot to check across the country. Remember, my viewers are all across the country, right? So go check your Ace Hardware if you have them in your area. I'm not even sure if it's like a nationwide thing because I know I called about 8 or 9 Ace Hardwares in my area, and only one of them even heard anything about having sports cards. So it might not be a nationwide thing. It might just be like a store-to-store basis. So make sure to check out, call them, ask them about it, because you could score some retail sports cards unexpectedly at a hardware store. Who would have thought? All right, let's get into the meat of the video. This is exactly why I clicked on the video. Target's gonna be back in store selling sports cards. And here's kind of like my, why I think that in terms of, so gotten a bunch of comments on my videos saying people have started to find sports cards in their Target. At first I was like, there's no way, but I've been inundated with comments. I've got about 20 to 25 comments with people that have been subscribed to me for a long time. A few of my members have even said, hey, I found stuff. Actually, this photo was from my member. He said that he found a Bowman Mega Box in store. Of course, I can't confirm it, right? But it's right here, I also don't think Bowman Mega Boxes, Bowman Mega Boxes were never in store before the online drop started, the strictly online drop started happening. Bowman actually came out after. So the fact that, Bowman in Target, pretty good proof. Also, I was like, all right, I want to find this out for myself. I went out and I went to my local Target and I saw an empty Chronicles Fat Pack box. It was like one of the regular Chronicles Fat Packs. It was just empty. So someone had bought all the cards in it. I went to customer service, like, hey, are you guys selling sports cards? My customer service says they are slowly putting sports cards back into stock. Nothing is confirmed on if they're doing one big push, one big restock, but they did say they're going to slowly kind of start putting them in. It is it's not known if this is going to be a corporate-wide / nationwide policy. And of course, things can change really quick. Just because they had stocked, football cards in doesn't mean anything. So yeah, that's what my customer service said. I had a few members talk to their customer service and say sports cards will indeed be back in stores, but nobody can tell you when. Nobody's giving you an initial date. Some Targets are trying out while others are not trying it out, right? So it's going to be interesting to see kind of what that is. You guys know that they've had soccer cards. They've had UFC Prism in store at Target, right? They've had pretty much everything except for MLB, NBA, and NFL in store, right? And, they took out Pokemon for a while, but about 3 or 4 weeks back, they put Pokemon back in stores with a limit of 2 Pokemon per. They don't want to do online drops, right? It doesn't make sense for them to do online drops. I can imagine it's probably takes much more manpower and much more work for them to do an online drop than it does to just have everything in store. Because think about it. 50,000, if you're dropping every week, right? 1 week you have 57,000 select mega boxes drop. Then you have 20,000 Prism blasters. And even with a limit of 10 on the blasters and 6 on the mega boxes, That's a lot of packages you need to pack and ship out. And think about it, they don't make too much money on sports cards, right? And I've talked about this, the gross margin on sports cards is just not there for Target, right? So to put all these resources in, and especially with shipping so many, right? Having such a big stock of sports cards, using too many resources to cost them too much for them not to make a lot from Target.com. Rolling them slowly back into stores is going to be very beneficial. Sure, there's going to be increased foot traffic in Targets, but if they kind of slowly do it, people probably won't be there every single day, right? You know, like they did when, you know, for those Friday drops when everybody lined up out the door. Now, it could turn back into that, and I'm going to kind of go into like, what is this going to look like when things are back in store? But for them, it doesn't make sense for them to keep selling on Target.com if it's going to take more manpower than it does in store. No, I have no way to prove that, right? And this is kind of why it's all speculation in terms of why they would move back to in-store if Target.com online was working so well. Another hypothesis is that it's too much traffic on the website. We know that there was like a Friday morning a few weeks ago where like the site was like going so slow because so many people were on it, right? Think about it. If I have 2,500 people in my stream, that's just like a small portion of everybody who's actually going for sports cards. Because I bet people that are trying to buy sports cards, they're not going on YouTube, right, to go watch some kid talk at a camera for 3 hours and about sports cards, retail sports cards, right? So that's still a small portion. Then you have bots you're still trying to fight, right? And so it'd be interesting to see, okay, maybe it took up too much, you know, server power on the website dropping it Friday. And then they try these random drops, but they realize bots just eat everything up on these random drop days. And that causes a problem because that's negative feedback. That's negative business. That's negative brand awareness for them, right? Because it's like, oh, bots just get all the sports cards. You know, like it's not even worth shopping at Target, right? That gives them a bad brand image. It leaves people are leaving bad reviews on the Target website about sports cards, right? So having them online has been really causing issues that Target wasn't really expecting when they moved to online, which is, again, increased manpower. That is potentially needed compared to in-store. Then again, that is arguable. But then again, just the high capacity on websites, on Target.com, crashing the site, making it go slow for customers who aren't buying sports cards, right? And that affects their entire business. And then dropping on random days is just making a bad brand image for them because it's tough for them to combat bots and keep everybody happy. So there's pros and cons to dropping at the same time and dropping at different times, but they both have more cons than pros for Target from a business standpoint. So their goal is to get them back into stock in store. So what is this going to look like in terms of, or what could it look like? So again, we could be going back to these Friday drops, you know, at 8 a.m. supposedly, right? We could go back to like a nationwide drop like that. Now, do I think they will? Tough to say, right? I can't say, you know, one way or the other if they're going to do that because there's a reason they stopped, right? We know because of the whole Wisconsin situation, with, you know, that whole thing. I know I've talked about it on the channel. You guys probably know about it. That's where they stopped, right? So maybe they won't do Fridays. Maybe they'll do a time where less people can come in. Maybe like a Wednesday at like 1 p.m. You know, something random like that. So I think it comes down to really how are they going to roll this out and what it's going to look like. I doubt there's going to ever be an announcement from Target. And honestly, if they saw this video, they'd probably be like, oh man, come on. Like someone had to, you know, point it out because we're going to have more people going into stores. I doubt there's going to be an announcement saying, you know, we're back in store. I think it's just going to slowly happen and people are going to start to realize that cards are just going to roll back into stores. You know, I think that's just how it is. It's going to be interesting to say the least. So again, I don't think there's going to be a Target announcement. I think it's going to be really hard to say what it's going to look like if we're going to have, you know, lining up at a certain time where people are just going to be coming in at random times to kind of just check like it was in the beginning. So really tough to say. And you can't really go one way or another. I know a common question, does this mean that they're not going to drop online anymore? Nobody can say yes or no. I would argue they will still be dropping online. We saw that they did drop online even when they had sports cards in stores. So I think we could definitely see them drop in online and in store at the same time. This in itself will decrease foot traffic into like the actual stores, which was a big problem. One of my hypotheses for why they stopped in stores because they were having people come in, taking up space, foot traffic, taking up time from workers, right, to find sports cards that, again, they don't make too much on. And it took away from the experiences of customers who come in to buy groceries or buy jewelry or buy clothes, things that have arguably, I don't know if food has a higher gross margin than cards, although I imagine it does. But products like that yield more profit for them having people come in for sports cards took away those resources to spend on customers that are actually going to spend $60 or $70 or $80, rather than just like a $20 box of sports cards. So it'll be interesting to see if they have the online drops and maybe the nationwide, online drops and nationwide line like they did on Friday mornings together, because that would just decrease people coming into the store. They know, okay, hey, it's going to be Friday morning 8 a.m., but they're also going to be dropping online Friday morning 8 a.m. So people that prefer the online version will just, do 8 a.m. And then people that prefer in-store will do 8 a.m. in-store, right? So that will decrease foot traffic into the store. And again, having that one set time could be really beneficial for Target, rather than having people come in all day, every day at different times. So, JR, what does this mean for your streaming schedule? Well, this week I know I'll be live 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday and 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, just in case, because remember, those are still hot times for Target to have an online drop, because we don't know if online drops are over. Nobody can say that, right? They could still drop something tomorrow. Is it likely? Probably not. So we'll see what kind of happens, guys. I hope this was informational. Again, things can change in an instant. So let me preface squad. Things can change. Maybe cards won't be back in the Target for a long time, right? But this is just from reports I'm seeing, literally firsthand experience for myself, seeing an empty Chronicles Fat Pack box on the shelves in Target, and talking to customer service, had members talk to customer service, etc. Again, I could always be wrong, but I just thought I'd bring you guys aware, make you guys aware. Check your local Target. Man, you can still get soccer cards there. They're dropping Chronicles Soccer. They have, Topps Chrome Soccer, Mosaic, La Liga Soccer. So always go to check it out, guys. I'm going to leave you there. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. Peace.